Hey, I'm Jason, and I'm going to give you a quick tour of the Model Editor, which is a tool within Rooms that lets you edit the individual blocks that make up anything. To start, let's try to edit the color of an existing thing. So I'll enter Edit Mode, I'll select the thing I want to edit, and I'll go to the Model Editor, which looks like a cube icon. Here it is on iPhone. From here, I can add, paint, extrude, and remove blocks. In this case, I want to paint blocks, so I'll tap the paint tool and then select fill from underneath. That'll allow me to change all contiguous blocks of a particular color to a different color. Now, let's say I want to make this monitor a nice bright yellow. So I'll tap yellow and I'll hover over the area that I want to fill and I'll tap it. And it's immediately updated to be the color I selected. Now, if I hit save, I'll see that it's updated instantly in the room. Now, let's suppose that you want to create a new thing from scratch. The way you'll do that is by first tapping the plus in the bottom left-hand corner, which will open the thing library. And within that, I'll tap new thing at the top. This will open the same model editor, but with nothing in it. Now, I want to create a Game Boy, so I'm going to select a gray color, the Add tool, and I'm just going to start placing some blocks. Now, I could place blocks one by one, just like I've been doing, or I can press and hold and drag to place a rectangular prism. And if I want to build upward, I could do that layer by layer, or I could use the Extrude tool, which lets you press and hold on any surface and drag it on up. So now I have the basic shape of my Game Boy. Now if I want to move the camera around, I'll just press and drag in any empty space to rotate the camera. On iPad or iPhone, you can just press and hold and drag with your finger. If I want to pan the camera, on desktop I'll right-click and drag, and on iPad and iPhone I'll use two fingers. The next thing I want to do is add a D-pad and some buttons to my Game Boy. So I'm going to go to Paint, select the Brush tool, select my color, and then I'm just going to start painting in the D-pad and some buttons. And maybe I'll put a select button underneath. Now I'm noticing that my Game Boy has more blocks on the one side than the other, and I don't want that. So I'll go to the Remove tool, and I'll press and hold to remove any blocks I don't want. The last important piece is a screen for my Game Boy. So for that, I'm going to go to Paint and select Box, and then I'll choose my color, and I'll paint in that screen. I'll put some finishing touches on this Game Boy, maybe some buttons on the side, maybe I'll remove some blocks from down here, and that looks good enough. One important note is that on the floor, it says front with an arrow. And you'll notice I made my Game Boy such that the front faces the front. Now this is actually pretty important because if I later want to add actions to my thing, then it's important to know the orientation of the object so that if I say make my thing move forward, it actually moves the direction I want it to move. So try to pay attention to that. Now that I'm happy with my Game Boy, I can hit save, and it'll appear in the bottom center of the room to start. But I'll move it out of the way and I'll rotate that around so I can see its front. Now I want to put it on this shelf right over here. And the way that I like to do that is to first focus on the vertical height. So I'll press and drag this up arrow until it's the exact height I want it, right there. And then I'll move it on over, rotate it some more. And I'm noticing it's a little bit too tall for that shelf. So I'm going to decrease the scale to get it the height I want it. I'm also noticing that it is not glowing, but I want it to glow. So I'll tap Style and increase this glow slider. Now, by default, it's going to make a lot of things glow, but I want to increase this threshold parameter so that just the screen is glowing. There, I think that looks good. And if I'm happy with it, and suppose I want to let other people use that same model in their rooms, I can select it and tap this up arrow. Or on iPhone and iPad, I'll look in the overflow menu and tap Submit to Thing Library. If I submit it to the Thing library, then our team here at Things Inc. will review it. And if they approve it, it'll be added so that anyone can use it. And importantly, you'll then get notified anytime someone adds your thing to their room so that you can see all the interesting ways that your thing is used. So that pretty much concludes the model editor demo. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are really looking forward to seeing what you create.